Hello everyone, welcome to my shop. If you are new, this is where I work out here beside my house. It is midnight, after midnight 30 maybe, and I bought some tearaway stabilizer that is too narrow for my large hoop. I was not paying close attention when I ordered it, and so I take it and I cut it the length that I need it, which is 18 inches, and then I cut four 18-inch lengths, and then I cut a fifth, and I cut it into 2.5-inch wide strips, and then I sew it along the edge here, and it's not going to have anything to do with the embroidering. It is just going to make it fit into my hoops. That's the only purpose of this, is for it to give it that extra little width that I need to so it'll fit in the hoops. And my husband was cleared yesterday to go back to work. For anybody that doesn't know it, he has had the coronavirus, and I worked out here a little bit during that. Not much. I sat in the house with him. We watched a lot of Netflix, a lot of Amazon Prime, and then on last Wednesday, when he was feeling a whole lot better and a little stir crazy, we decided to just load up our stuff and go down to our camper on Wednesday, and we stayed down there for 4 days. And we are back, and he went back to the doctor yesterday, and the doctor gave him a letter of clearance that he was able to resume his duties. He is a paramedic, and he went back to work today. So, and thankfully, nobody that his partner is not sick. I didn't get it. We were with my son and my daughter-in-law and my two little grandsons a lot, and they didn't get it. And so, it was just, I guess it was, all the conditions were right for him to get it. And he felt pretty bad for about 2 weeks, and run a low-grade fever for a few days. And so, but now he is back at work and feeling much better, and I am glad to see him go. I'm not ashamed to say that. It's hard for me, any woman that works from home, or any time you are based at home, whether it's being a mother or housework or a home-based business or whatever, when your husband is off work, it is very hindering. I as a 56-year-old wife, feel like that it's not my duty. I don't ever feel like that it's my duty. I will never feel like that it's my duty, because he's a grown man. He can fix a sandwich if he gets hungry, but I do like to cook supper. And so I cooked a big supper last night. He carried a lot of leftovers with him, and he'd rather have leftovers than anything he can buy anywhere else. And so yeah, he left this morning about 4 o'clock and went back to work, so he'll be gone till Friday. And I've got my 4 sheets here. I usually do about 4 at a time. Sometimes I do 8, but multiples of 4, because I can get 4 strips of 2.5-inch on each one of these 10-inch widths. I usually buy the 12-inch tearaway and a 12-inch cutaway, but I accidentally bought this, and so I'm going to use it till it's gone. And the hoop will actually just be barely, I don't know if you can see my seam here, but my hoop will it just needed this extra width to get caught in the hoop. The embroidery will actually be down here, and that won't affect it at all. Just need that extra little width to get these hooped up. And I'm going to pause for a minute and move over to the cutting table. Okay, show you how I hoop up my blankets. See, I put it on here, and it covers like down to the I put it close to the bottom as I can, so that seam will be way up there at the top. And it's actually incorporated basically into the top of the top hooping. Just need that extra length. A 10 inch stabilizer will not hoop up in here. And I actually go back and cut off this when I get ready to embroider, because the extra little lip on the paper sometimes will hinder the embroidery. It will sometimes it will cause the blanket to have a wrinkle in it or something like that, and I can't have that. So put my blanket in here. I buy these blankets and then I personalize them for people, and I have recently went out and purchased about 50 of these. I guess people are not really thinking about keeping warm right now. They're just trying to get through the summertime, but the cold weather will be here sooner than we think. It's already the end of July, and it's been the longest summer to me, I guess. Well, I don't have any kids in school, but I do have grandchildren in school, 7 grandsons and 3 granddaughters. And it seems like they have been out, this like the summer has been forever. But I guess the summer has been about, what, since the middle of March? Something like that. So we have our blanket hooped up and pinned down. And then I'm going to cut a strip of this white fabric. Okay, got it on the machine, and I need to edit a name for this one. I use So What Pro. I've been using it for about 3 years now, I guess, something like that. And I really enjoy it. Other people have used Brilliance, I believe is the name of one of them. But I'm the kind of person that when I find something and it's simple for me to use, and I figure it out, and I get all the ins and outs of it figured out, I don't like to change. I do not like change at all. As a matter of fact, years ago, I've mentioned this before, I made turtleneck dickies, and it was a simple pattern, and it was, I made millions of them. It seems like millions of them. And it was so hard for me to get back into sewing when that was kind of over, because, I'd gotten so used to that fabric, that pattern, that it was hard. Because if you're going to do something that is, if you're going to do something to sell, you can't make, unless you charge a lot of money, you cannot make something that takes you 2 or 3 days to make. You have to make something, you have to do something that you can make fairly quickly, and not have a lot of time invested in it, in the cutting or the sewing. So, took me a while to find something that was workable for me. And finally, my husband told me one day, you will find a niche, and you will find your niche. And I did. I really, really did. I found my niche, and that is the quilt making and the embroidery. And I started doing the embroidery to enhance my quilt making, because I used my embroidery machine to do all types of appliques and make these themed quilts. Oh, I forgot to do that. I've got to do that little backpack. Do the themed quilts like this little I've got to do this butterfly quilt. I've got I think 20 of these to set together in yellow and lavender to make a butterfly quilt for a lady. And so I use my embroidery machine for that. And but I also do buy blanks sometimes and use those. But I've been having an issue lately, personal mental battle with myself. I've been burnt out, and I don't know. I get like this about once a year to where I just, I come out here and I can think of 1,000 other things I had rather be doing than working. But I have people that depend on me to get their work done. Didn't know I had that down. I got the name done. The name is almost 6.5 inches long, and it's a little over 2 inches high. And that's exactly what I want. I want to save that as Ansley. Never can tell when you might need that name again, and you've already got it done. So I'll go to my files, and it's right there on the top, and we're going to move it to the USB drive E. That's where I've got my little thing at. And then we'll put it into the embroidery machine. I've already got my tigers up there. And I need to add and find Ansley, sit, set, rotate, and move her down right underneath the tigers. And then this design is ready to go. Because I have my blanket loaded in here upside down. I need to do my embroidery upside down. Now, when you're doing an applique like this, and this school colors are this hunter green, dark green, and white. And I just recently did one that was the school color was black. So the applique part was black. And when I do the outline stitch, which shows you exactly where it's going to go, I did that in black thread. But then when I put my black fabric down, I went over that, I think, with white or maybe a yellow. I've got on my machine, I've got white, black, yellow, and purple. So I don't know which color it was, but white on white is easy to see when you get ready to cut your applique out, trim it down. It's easy. But then but black on black, you have to just about go, I personally, with my eyes, you have to go to a very well lit area. So sometimes I will, and I'm going to applique in black, but to do the trimming, it's just easier. Black on black is hard to see. I've heard other people talk about when they hem black pants with black thread, they have to go on the front porch and do it because it's hard to see that. So I'm going to do this in white, do the outline stitch, It's almost done. This burnout feeling that I have, I cannot describe it. I always try to have a grateful heart in everything that I do. This burnout feeling, I tell myself all the time, why are you burnt out? I mean, there are people out there that would just absolutely love to have the setup that you have. I mean, I've got this building out here. It's insulated. It's air conditioned. It's heated. I have two, not one, but I have two 6-needle embroidery machines. I have got a commercial machine that I use to put my quilts together, my commercial straight needle. I have a laptop to do all of my editing on. I have a huge selection of fabric, and this is just a drip in the bucket. This is not even close to what I have. And I cannot explain why I get so burnt out. I have customers, I have people that constantly commenting about the quality of my work, and I have just a great group of people that will comment and they on my Facebook page and talk about, you need to get her to do your work. She's great at what she does. She does top quality work. I can't explain. It's just it's like a mental thing that I have, and I can't help it. I don't know. All right, I'm going to take this over to my ironing board and get ready to press down the white fabric. Okay, at the cutting table, and I am going to use this glue stick to color inside the lines. Not too much, just to make it a little tacky. I even have a top-of-the-notch iron that my husband bought for me for Christmas last year. I've been wanting one of these irons for like years. And everybody thinks, you got an iron for Christmas? Yes. Anything that makes my job easier, I am absolutely grateful for. And he did buy this for me, and it's a gift that gives all year round. It holds a lot of water. You don't have to constantly be adding water to your iron, which is something I used to have to do all the time. And only thing I have to say negative about it, not bad, but negative, is it takes 3 minutes for that water to heat up and for that iron to be ready to go. And that is really the only, thing that kind of holds you up. If you're doing something that you are back and forth to the iron, it'll stay on for a long time. It eventually will kick off, because people walk off and leave things, and I have done that before. I had an iron a couple of years ago that didn't turn itself off, and it caused a mess. Won't get into that, but I didn't have a fire, but I had a mess. So, but this iron does kick off, and when it's not been active for a while, and it is a Rowena. It's got 400. Oh, it needs cleaning. It's got 400 steam holes in it. I really love the iron. Absolutely love it. It's just that little blinking light right there. Blinks for 3 minutes. And when it stops blinking, it is ready to use. And that is the only negative thing. Not really bad, but if I don't think about it ahead of time and go ahead and mash that little button. Plus, in the daytime, my air conditioner has to be on out here the whole time I'm out here. If I turn the air conditioner off for like 3 minutes, it's already hot in here. So, but if I have the air conditioner on and I turn this iron on, the power goes out. It trips a breaker every time. So I'm out here at midnight tonight working, and I'll be able to leave the air conditioner off for longer periods of time and get some things done. I've got a couple of quilts I'd like to get put together tonight, get those ready to quilt tomorrow. If I get those put together, I'll have 5 quilts to quilt tomorrow. And the list just never gets any shorter. I've got baby quilts to do. I've got more t-shirt quilts to do. I have got some quilt repairs to do. I have a Crown Royal quilt that the Crown Royal bags came in a few days ago. I've got that to do. The butterfly quilt. I have got some more of the blankets to do, some more of the Santa bags to get done. I've got, I think, about 13 memory pillows to do. I've got 3 teddy bears, memory teddy bears cut out, ready to put together. And she gets those 3 teddy bears plus a couple of memory pillows. So I've got about 13 pillows to do. And, okay, our light has quit blinking. This is still in the hoop. And just give it a good hot press. So I have the work to do. It's just, I don't know. And I really and truly love my work. I absolutely love what I do. This is the job for me. This is a job that when if somebody gets sick in my family and needs my help, I can turn it all off and head out and go and help them out and come back to it. And if one of my children get sick and need help with the grandchildren, or one of the grandchildren gets sick and need me to pick them up at school, it's you know, it's one of those jobs that I can just stop and come back to it later. People that want to drop off stuff, they can drop it off at 8 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock at night. So it really is a perfect job. But I just get burnt out. My brain gets tired. You can see the thread on the white pretty well. This is the reason I trim off my stabilizer in the back so that can lay nice and flat. I've actually had one customer out of 1,000 that said on their Santa bag order, and I put a lot of work into Santa bags. A lot. It takes, here's one right here. It takes, and this one took, well, how long it took it's not on there anymore because this one's done. It takes over an hour to embroider each one of these. And I already had them done. Had them sewn up, the drawstring put in them. I always take a cigarette lighter and melt the edge of the ribbon so it won't fray at all. And had them packaged, addressed, and ready to go to the post office. And my husband got sick. And she sent me a message that we would just prefer a refund. We don't want you to send us those Santa bags because they could be contaminated. And so we'll just take our money back. I said, well, if you don't want me to send them to you, I will not send them to you. But these are, you ordered them, you paid for them. I completed the job. They're ready to go. And, you know, so today I shipped out about 12 orders of these. Some of them had 6, some of them had 4, some had 1, some had 8. There was just different size bag orders. And I shipped hers. So my commitment is over. If she wants to take them out of her mailbox and throw them in the garbage, that's on her. But because my husband had the coronavirus, she wanted a refund on a custom order because she didn't want my nastiness at her house. For real. So, you know, they're on their way to her house. They should be there tomorrow, the next day. And if she doesn't want them, that's up to her. But people have told her over and over and over, if you're worried that they could be germy, which they're not. My husband doesn't. He comes out here, he pokes his head in the door and that's basically as far as he ever gets. And he's not been out here, especially while he was sick. I Germex my hands 40 times a day, not counting the 40 times a day I wash them. And no, I will not return your money on a custom order because that my husband has had the coronavirus. No. And, my husband had stomach issues for a few days, a nagging cough for the rest of the time, and he coughs anyway because his blood pressure medicine makes him cough. And but these were packaged before he was diagnosed with the coronavirus. So, you can be ridiculous if you want to, but it cost you. You had to pay the money anyway. That's just absolutely ridiculous. All right, I'll be back as soon as I get this trimmed and show you what it looks like. Okay, have it all trimmed and ready to go, and it's all in white, the name and everything, because it's hunter green and white. So I'm just going to program the machine to do all number 2 threads, which it shows red, but it's actually the number 2 thread is white. And close it up and let it go. And hopefully it will get finished without breaking a thread. Let me know in the comments below if whatever your job is, it doesn't matter what your job is, if you ever suffer from burnout. And, so maybe I'll feel a little better that I'm not the only one, because sometimes I want to do anything but what I am supposed to be doing. Sometimes I just lay down and watch videos on my phone because I absolutely do not have the mindset to do my work. And it's very frustrating because I have so much to do. And I'll get over it. I will get over it. But I go through this about once a year, and sometimes it lasts way too long for my taste. Thank you all so much for watching. If you found this video to be beneficial in any way, any part of it, please subscribe, hit that like button, hit the unlike button, whichever one you want to do. That's the activity that helps me out. But please comment below if you do suffer from burnout like I have described. Thank you. Bye-bye.